Hello everyone, lately I am taking a break from Genshin Impact. I think the game is in a bad state and I really want to talk about it and offer realistic solutions. So let's get into it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm kind of sick of the endgame of Genshin Impact consisting of fighting enemies in a tiny circle and do it within a certain time limit. Especially when Genshin Impact has an entire open world they can work with, and I think they could make some pretty cool endgame modes using the world, and I would love to see an endgame that kind of makes you go from point A to point B. Think of like a Destiny dungeon where you will go through the level, encounter bosses, encounter fun mechanics and surprises, and at the end have a final boss. Of course, this is just one idea. Doesn't mean it's going to work. It doesn't mean it's going to be the perfect solution, but I thought I'd offer something. But yeah, new endgame would be fantastic with new rules and mechanics. Okay, this next one I'm sure you've heard a million times, but yes, it is indeed artifact loadouts. I mean, it's pretty plain and simple. The game has been out for almost 5 years, and because of this, everyone has a lot of different characters, and a lot of these characters share the same artifacts, so I think it's plain as day to see that this would just be a no-brainer. I mean, Wuthering Waves literally just released this, and it's awesome. For the specific case of Burnout, I think this next one is going to be fantastic for players like me, who are extremely burnt out on the game, but at the same time don't want to lose out on the resin you earn every day. Maybe you want to stop playing for a little while like me, and in that case I think copying the resin system from Wuthering Waves would be fantastic, because I think it is the perfect amount of resin storage for a game like this. It's honestly not too much, not too little. I believe it is 480 resin, but you also have a backup storage of another 480 resin, I believe. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it works. And I think it's the perfect kind of storage for if you want to take a couple days off and not feel too punished for it. Okay, next I want to talk about the Chronicled banner. Now, the Chronicled banner is a very, very flawed banner in my eyes. The reason for this is that Hoyoverse will announce the Chronicled banner way too late before players can actually start realistically saving for it. So I think if Hoyoverse were to announce the Chronicled banners sooner, that would be awesome, but at the same time, I think an even better solution would be to completely remove the Chronicled banner and just move the old units that aren't being used to the standard banner. Now, I know there may be the argument of, oh, if it was on the standard banner, I wouldn't be able to have a guaranteed pathway to get it. But I think the release of Chronicled banners are just so far and in between that honestly, I don't think it's going to be that crazy of a difference, and I think it would just be better for the long term of the game. That way Hoyoverse can truly focus on just adding new characters and not worrying about old units. Especially because over the years, these old limited characters are getting weaker and weaker and power crept, and it's to the point where they are standard banner level of power level. Another change I would love to see is the increase of odds of the special wish mechanic. I don't actually know what this is called, but it's where your lost 50/50 will turn into like a pink color and you will guaranteed win it. Personally, I've never even had this happen to me, so the chances just must be seriously low. I mean, this has been in the game since Natlan launched, I believe, and it's never happened to me a single time. Please increase the rate, at least a little bit. Okay, I am very passionate about this next one. A better treasure compass. You see, whenever I use the treasure compass, it never tracks all the treasure in Tevat. For example, in Dragonspine, the Mondstadt compass does not even function, and there are just certain puzzles around Tevat that it does not consider treasure. I would love to see every single possible treasure in the game be discoverable. That includes Oculus, puzzles, sigils, everything. Everything you could even imagine. And yes, I know that Oculus compasses do exist, you can craft them, but quite frankly, they suck ass. And also, for some reason, the treasure compass has a range limit where it can only track treasure that is close to you. I think this is ridiculous and they should change that. It should be able to track any treasure, anywhere, anytime. Also remove that 30-second cooldown. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now this next one has been affecting my gameplay so much recently when it comes to the story of Genshin Impact. Now I know this is a complex issue that has a lot of consequences, but it is affecting my story experience, and because of that I will not be playing the story until it is fixed, and that is the English voice actor absence. Yes, it is so immersion breaking to have these characters not speak, or to have some of them speak but others not speak at all. Again, I am not blaming anybody for this. This is just an unfortunate situation, but it needs to be addressed for the players. It has gone on for long enough, and I'm so tired of beating this dead horse. This next one I think would be fantastic for people who want to replay the game, like on a different account, and that is to add optional skip button for all dialogue. Yes, this would be huge for players who maybe don't care about the story as much, or maybe great for replay value for players who want to create a new account and kind of get through the story so that they can unlock other aspects of the game. So with the introduction of the Imaginarium Theater, they actually made the time for Spiral Abyss resetting to be longer. I think this is a huge mistake. I know they increased the Primogem amount, but I say keep that new increased Primogem count, but revert the time for the Spiral Abyss to reset back to what it was. I think it was a much better interval and just allows us to play the game more often. Another big one is I would love to see a better movement system for every character, just like Wuwa. So in Genshin Impact, you can run, you can jump, and you can climb up walls, glide, all that good stuff. But in a game like Wuthering Waves, you can simply just do so much more. You can double jump, you can literally fly, you can run up walls, grapple, all these wonderful things I think would be lovely to be implemented into Genshin Impact. And they don't have to be exactly the same, but I think just some better movement mechanics for every character would be absolutely lovely. Now this next one is kind of only for players like me who like to be surprised about the game, surprised to learn about what's being added, and that's to simply crack down on leaks. I believe they do more harm than good. I know they can be nice because you can kind of plan out your game a little bit nicer, but as just someone who loves the story, I would love to be surprised about what's coming into the game. And I know that might be a debatable take, but tell me about it in the comments. This next feature I would love to see is actually one that was implemented in Wuthering Waves lately, and it's the ability to let you change your main character. For example, changing Ether to Lumine and vice versa. I think this would just be a lovely quality of life thing, and honestly, it's not really a big deal, but I think it would be cool. So I want to talk about some exploration changes I would love to see. For example, bow characters can sometimes feel unsatisfying as the enemies are designed for close combat. As such, they can quickly regenerate health unless you move closer. I understand this may be to balance the game, but it does hurt the bow playstyle. So maybe if they could increase the range in which these mobs like self-heal themselves would be pretty awesome. Also, I often find caves that are closed off and locked behind a world quest. When this happens, it would be nice if the game would guide you to the quest/quest giver needed to open it up. That way you can finish your exploration in places without any hassle. Okay, next I want to go over some silly changes they could make, but I do believe they will help the game as well. Starting with more companions in the Teapot. I believe at the time you can only have 8, and that's just not enough for me. I want to talk to all of my characters. I have a lot of characters. There's simply a bunch of characters in the game now. I think we should have more companions available, please. The next silly one would be to add a dark mode. I think we all have experienced this when we open up Genshin Impact at night and we just get flashbangs like it's Call of Duty. They have the dark mode loading screens for when it's nighttime, so they could definitely implement this. No problem. As a newer player to Genshin Impact, this next one means a lot to me. Can we please get a new free-to-play friendly HP sword? My Nilou is in shambles. Right now I'm using an Elemental Mastery craftable, and I don't know, I really want an HP sword. I just want it because I can't have it. Next up, I would love to see a more consistent balance of released male and female characters. You see, Natlan has been out for a long time now, and there's only been one released male character, I believe. And, you know, for example, I have a friend, Sketch, who has not pulled on a single Natlan unit because there's just no males. They're just gone. So can we please stop gathering wives and start gathering wives and husbandos, I guess. Husbandos is not a word I'm used to saying, I'm sorry. This next one is definitely a personal pet peeve because I am an Xbox owner, and I was very upset to see that when the Xbox wings were released, they were exclusive, but now they're absolutely free for everybody. And normally this wouldn't upset me, however, the PlayStation wings released for PlayStation and stayed on PlayStation, and no one is ever going to get it unless you have a PlayStation. I think this is ridiculous. I'm just salty. Anyways, let's get into the next one. Let Statue of the Sevens be unlocked in co-op. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many times I've tried to open a Statue of the Seven, but couldn't because I was in co-op. And it literally happened in my most recent Genshin Impact video. And finally, guys, if you are a Genshin Impact player and maybe you've taken some of this criticism to the hearts, please don't. This is not me attacking you, this is me simply criticizing a game I like, and I think Dewey crying was complete bullshit. That dude is rich, and I think he needs to take criticism a lot better. And his crocodile tears do not affect me. I also think Wuthering Waves has been such good, healthy competition for Genshin, and I'm so glad it exists. Well, I hope you did end up enjoying this video. I think the game is in a bad state, and I really wanted to talk about it and offer realistic solutions, and some silly ones too. This was definitely a new style of content for the channel, and I just have a lot on my mind, and I want to start trying my best to put my ideas out there and seeing if anyone wants to talk about it. Definitely consider liking and subscribing if you liked what you saw. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. I know I didn't have any Genshin Impact playing as B-roll. I just had so much zombies footage. I wanted to use it.